Hello everyone, this is the accompanying video for level 2 scales. Now we've got a little bit more ground to cover in level 2 because we're going to look at two different types of scales. The first type of scale is called a pentatonic scale. Now don't be alarmed by the big name, it's just called a pentatonic scale because it has only 5 notes in it. Just like a pentagon has 5 sides, the pentatonic scale has 5 notes. This is different to what we normally refer to as a major or a natural minor scale because both of those have 7 notes. So it's a little bit different to that. The pentatonic scale is a really big part of guitar, which is why we're going to get stuck into it straight away. And for level 2, you're going to learn 2 variations of the minor pentatonic scale. So, the first one we're learning is the E minor pentatonic, which is played down here in open position. That's the reason we're learning it first, because it's a lot easier if we incorporate the open strings. So, you always have to learn the notes of the scale first. So we have E, G, A, B, and D. That's the end of the 5-note sequence, but we play through just repeating over and over again. So here we have E, open G string for G, move to A here on the G string, open B string, 3rd fret B string gives us D, open E string, 3rd fret E string gives us G, and then we finish on the open E string. The reason we do that is because whenever we play a scale on the guitar, it's always good form to try and start and finish on the root note. So because this is an E minor pentatonic, that means that the root note is E. If I give you like an E minor chord like this, and then I play the scale over it, you can hear that it really nicely resolves that way. So once again, we'll look at that scale shape. You can try and use the same fingers as me because that is ideal, but if not, whatever is kind of comfy just to get started. So we're playing E, G, A, B, D. E, G, A, B, D, E, G. Finish on the E. When you get really comfortable, you can start looking at playing it back down as well. But if all you do for now is just learn the notes and the way up the scale, then that's perfect. That's a really good start. When you're really comfortable with that scale shape, we're going to look at the same scale but in a different key. Now the reason we're going to do that is because the guitar is really great in a lot of ways because we can move shapes around up and down the neck and they don't change. So on the piano, for example, every scale you learn has a slightly different fingering, but that's not true on the guitar. On the guitar, when we learn a scale shape like the E minor pentatonic, if we just move that root note around, we can get another minor pentatonic, whichever one we want in fact. So now what we're going to do is we're going to learn the same shape, but here on the 5th fret, which is going to be the A minor pentatonic. So once again, I want you to learn the theory first. I want you to learn the notes. In this case, A, C, D, E, G. A, C, D, E, G, A, C, and finishing on A again. Okay, so exactly the same as the E minor pentatonic, but because we're not playing open strings at the bottom of the shape, we have to use our 1st finger. Basically, ideally you're going to put a finger on each fret, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th, and just use the right finger to play the right note, if that makes sense. So we use our 1st finger here for the A, we use our little finger here for the C, we move to the A string and use our 1st finger for the D, we use our ring finger here for the E, then we do our 1st finger for the G, ring finger for the A, 1st finger for the C, ring finger for the D, 1st finger for the E, little finger for the G, 1st finger for the A, little finger for the C, and finish on the 1st finger. Again, when you're confident, look at moving up and then back down. Great, so those are the two pentatonic scales we're going to look at in this grade. The reason we're looking at two is because I didn't want to do pentatonics in grade 1, but now you have A minor, which is the pentatonic scale for the scale we looked at last term, which is C major. A minor fits into C major really well. And this grade, we have G major is our scale, and E minor pentatonic fits really well into that. So very soon we can look at improvisation in class using these scales. So make sure you practice them really, really well. The final section then of grade 2 is your major scale for this grade, which is the G major scale. Now, as I said, the reason we learned E minor is because E minor fits really well within G major. It's the relative minor of the scale, but don't worry about that for now. We're going to look at that in more detail later on. So we're going to start the G major scale like this. We're going to make a G chord. So we've got our middle finger here on the low E, first finger here on the B string, A string, sorry, playing B, and the ring finger here on the top E string on the 3rd fret. Make our G major chord. And then we're just going to, just like we did last grade, we're going to play each note and name it as we go. G, A, so we play the open A string, B, 2nd fret, C, we use the open D string, D, E. We have to reach out our ring finger here to play F sharp, and then we've got the open G string. So the notes of that scale again are G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G again. This is the first time we've encountered a sharp in the syllabus. So we're going to go G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, using our ring finger, open G, A, open B, C, D, E, F sharp, and you should finish on your ring finger for the G. The difficult thing about this scale is that we have to break position. This is called breaking position when we start here with our 4 fingers across 2, 3, 4 and 5, and halfway through the scale we move the whole hand back, so we're doing 1, 2, 3 and 4. If you watch really carefully again, you can see the way that I finger the scale. G, A, B, C, open D, 2nd fret E, F sharp, so we're using the ring finger, then we go to open G, and it's at this point that I'm going to move my hand down, use my middle finger this time for the A, then I've got open B, first finger for C, ring finger for D, open E, middle finger for F sharp, and ring finger for the G. And the reason I like that fingering is because we end up perfectly able to play our G chord. Okay, I know there's an awful lot in that video, but you should have notes above that will hopefully make a lot of sense of it. And even if you don't understand everything to do with the scales just yet, or you're struggling to remember the notes, if you can just get the shapes, that's really good. And if you can write down the notes so that we can refer back to in class and you kind of start getting it into your brain, that'd be really, really great. Awesome. See you soon. Thanks very much, guys. Bye-bye.